Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Bunk. I'm the drive coach and an engineering mentor for FRC 5895 Petty Robotics. Welcome to episode 7 of Rebuilt Weekly Rundown, where we highlight FRC teams from around the world and the progress they're making during the build season. This week, we're highlighting exciting robot reveals and the fully completed builds that have officially moved into the practice mode. So the fabrication and refinements have been completed. Teams are now putting their finished robots through real match simulation. They're dialing in their performance, they're building driver confidence, and they're preparing for competition. All right, let's get to it. First team we're going to be covering is Team 1690 Orbit from Binyamina, Israel. Orbit's robot Kepler is running a roller floor indexer with a well-positioned expandable hopper intake hybrid or fusion system. They also have a corner-mounted turret that is implementing some of the best shoot-on-the-move best example of shoot-on-the-move that I've seen so far this season. So hats off to Orbit 1690. They have shown, or they're exhibiting, a very high level of software implementation to even achieve this level of functionality. Shooting on the move at these rates with that level of accuracy is nothing short of impressive. I imagine 1690 will be part of the conversation throughout the competition season, especially as we move towards the World Championship levels of play. They're showing an excellent balance between simplicity and functionality, really making some smart engineering decisions here, and actively practicing and getting ready to spin up at their first event. So super exciting to see what 1690 has produced, and we wish them the best of luck as they move into their first event.
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. Founded by First alumni, FRC Tees understands what teams need. High-quality apparel fast. From t-shirts to jackets and more, with a free 14-day turnaround and faster options available, you can join 200-plus teams who are already saving. Get a free quote by scanning the QR code or going to frctees.com.
Next robot we're going to be talking about is from Team 359, the Hawaiian kids from Waialua, Hawaii. Team 359, the Hawaiian kids, with another excellent implementation. Their Poi Pounder 27, I believe, is an excellent machine to emulate and really admire. They have great packaging, clean manufacturing, and a high level of functionality. They're running an integrated intake with an expandable hopper, as well as a belt floor indexer and a corner-mounted turret, which seems to be a recurring theme among some of our higher level teams. Those corner mounted turrets seem to do a lot for the packaging challenge. They also have a pretty awesome autonomous routine right now, which allows them to do a quick pass through the center zone, acquiring a ton of game pieces, and then shifting back, unloading them into the hub, and then dropping down a quick level 1 climb at the end of their routine. Their climber is, a relatively simple mechanism. It has this awesome loop on the end as well that's lined with some 2025, what looks like 2025 algae that's been cut up and wrapped around that little loop to give them some extra traction and grip. So excellent machine from 359. Wishing you guys the best of luck. Super excited to see where you go this competition season. All right, the next team we're going to be covering is Team 8725, Misty Panther from the Zong District. So Misty Panther has a pretty solid archetype here. They have a static double-wide shooter, a roller floor indexer with some vertical rollers to help singulate the balls into their specific channels, as well as an expandable hopper with an integrated intake. What's interesting about this compared to some of the other robots we've covered so far is that this team is running a static shooter versus a turret. That doesn't mean it's any less good. It just means that the way they're going to play this game is going to be different, right? So they're going to be focusing on maximizing their onboard capacity, and then unloading a large volume of game pieces into the hub in a quick turn. So Misty Panther with a solid implementation of their robot. I imagine what we'll end up seeing from them is big surges in in their scores, right? So what'll happen is their score will be at one point, and then they'll run that active hood, they'll spin things up, and all of a sudden that Misty Panther score will jump to another level very quickly, and you'll see those spikes throughout their activated periods. So 8725 with another solid build. Excited to see how you guys do as well. Best of luck to Misty Panther. Next up, we have Team 9200, Ceci Senai Stardust from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Super excited about this robot, Cerberus. What they went for, what the 9200 team went for, is a double intake archetype. So they're focusing less on a big, high capacity hopper and more on putting more investment into dynamic game piece acquisition. So what's great about this, if you look at some of the earlier match play from other parts of the country or parts of the world, you're seeing that most of the game piece acquisition in the center zone as well as in the home zone is really lateral strafing from the left border of the field to the right border of the field and back and forth. So having double intakes like this, like the Stardust team has, they have the ability to more simply and more efficiently run those strafing runs back and forth, acquiring game pieces and shooting at the same time without really rotating in any major way. So super novel archetype and definitely an ambitious approach by 9200. I think they will have an excellent acquisition rate as they move through these matches within the rebuild season.
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. Kettering University's cutting-edge programs and their experiential co-op model seamlessly blend the professional and academic worlds, offering hands-on, future-focused learning that empowers students to pursue new ideas and inspires other institutions to follow their lead. Don't just be ahead of the curve, create the curve. Get more information at kettering.edu/first.
The next team we're going to be covering is Team 7103 Robo Remedy from Wisconsin. 7103 is running a very modestly sized robot, which is an interesting approach to this game. They have a center-mounted turret shooter with a die rotor feeding into it, as well as an active roller intake, which feeds the die rotor. What I want to note about the 7103 robot is the size, right? So a lot of the robots we've covered so far include these expansive, expanding, large capacity hoppers that are feeding their shooters, whether they're turrets or static shooters. So those robots were focusing on large capacity onboard availability of game pieces. But 7103 is going in a different direction. They have a more modestly sized robot. They're going to have a higher level of agility. They're going to be more nimble, moving in and out of the trench, potentially over the bump. But what I'll note is the speed from intake to indexing and then into the shooter for this robot is very quick. So 7103 Robo Remedy is really looking at focusing or investing most of their efforts into quick game piece acquisition and distribution. So they're looking to control the flow of the match and ultimately dictate where the lion's share of game piece volume is going to be accumulating. My assumption is they're going to be putting it into their home zone so that they can go ahead and shoot them into their own hub for more points. So really creative and strategic decision by 7103 Robo Remedy. The next team we're going to be covering is Team 447, Team Roboto from Anderson, Indiana. Team Roboto is running an interesting build here. They have 3D printed herringbone gears on their turret, and a part of their intake is built using previous game elements, which I think is a really creative and fun way of building your robot. Super, call it sustainable and reusable. That being said, I would not underestimate the capabilities of the 447 machine. They have excellent game piece acquisition skills, a large onboard capacity. That Spindexer is firing balls into their turret at breakneck speed, and they have the ability to both shoot and pass with very high throughput numbers. So Team Roboto is, they have a modest build, but their robot is highly capable, even showing off a quick L1 climb there at the end. And then being able to shoot from the air. So Team Roboto maximizing their robot's output with very modest game piece, or I should say very modest build construction style. Super exciting and fun robot from Team 447. Awesome. Next up, we have Team 3990, Tech for Kids from Quebec, Canada. Right off the jump there, you saw that interesting frame shape from 3990. So they have a flip out climber for the L1, and then they have this interesting arc in their frame rails, which allows them to transition the bump much more smoothly. They do have the ability to go under the trench, and they have an active hood with a turret and a high capacity hopper, all being fed by a spindexer. So 3990, super quick ground speed, very dynamic, and easily able to transition any of the obstacles on the field, which makes them an excellent role player and able to provide any type of service to whatever alliance they end up on. Their linear slide intake expandable hopper as well does have the ability to provide some agitation should their hopper start to dry up as they continue scoring on the hub or passing. 3990, with a really impressive acquisition rate as well. So you see them crash into all of those game pieces on their practice space and pick them up relatively simply. And then you see this quick flip up climber with an active hook. Looks like being actuated by a rubber band, which is an awesome and very efficient way of actuating that type of mechanism. And they're also showing great strategic awareness, right? They're able to climb from both sides of the ladder. The tower rather. They're able to pick up from the depot or the outpost. This robot really does check pretty much all of the boxes. They can acquire from anywhere. They can drive over anything, and they have active game piece manipulation and end game implementation. So excellent, pretty exhaustive approach from the Tech for Kids team out of Quebec, Canada. Awesome. And last but not least, we have Team Dave from Ontario, Canada. Dave, the Team Dave team, they produce excellent robots every year. They think very well about how to address the game challenge, and they do well, in terms of all of their implementation. A couple things to point out here on the Team Dave robot. First off, I think the most exciting thing is their climb. So they actually have an active hood with hooks built into the hood itself, which allows them to climb using one of the tallest points of their robot, which is their shooter. So excellent for packaging, a little challenging in terms of wanting to do things more dynamic, like shooting from the tower in the air. But ultimately, if you look at the throughput and the onboard capacity that the Dave robot has, I don't anticipate there will be much left to shoot by the time they go to implement this quick climb. So again, large capacity, excellent indexing and intaking skills, and a very creative approach to the climber packaging challenge from Team Dave 3683. Thanks for watching this Rebuilt Weekly Rundown. If you want to get involved, drop a comment on this video or head to the Fun Discord linked in the description and share a cool video or maybe an update from your team. Make sure you subscribe to Fun so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, go ahead and give this video a like. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos.